She was only 19, the youngest mechanic in a small southern town, and she was good, so good that bikers from miles away came to her shop. But when she fixed the wrong bike, one belonging to a notorious Hell's Angel, her entire life flipped upside down. She thought her skill would earn respect, but instead, it cost her job, her dignity, and nearly her future. What no one expected was how the biker himself would respond. And the moment he stepped in, everyone watching was left absolutely speechless. In a dusty corner of Georgia, Maya had grown up under the hood of cars. Her father, a retired mechanic, had taught her every bolt and piston before she could even drive. By 19, she wasn't just good for a girl, she was better than half the men in the county. But the world wasn't ready to accept that. At the garage where she worked, customers often second-guessed her. They whispered, smirked, or asked for a real mechanic. And when they realized the real mechanic had been Maya all along, they were forced to eat their words. Still, her boss never missed a chance to remind her, "Don't step out of line. You're lucky to even have this job." It wasn't just her gender, it was her skin color. A black woman in a white male-dominated world. But Maya had dreams. She wanted to prove herself, to show that skill knew no race, no gender, no stereotype. She never imagined that one single repair would bring her face to face with a prejudice she could never forget. One scorching afternoon, a Harley rumbled into the shop. The bike was massive, roaring like thunder, its chrome gleaming. The man who rode it carried the unmistakable patches of a Hell's Angel. The other mechanics kept their distance, whispering, intimidated by the legend of the Outlaw Club. But Maya saw the bike, not the fear. Its carburetor was coughing, its timing off. She rolled up her sleeves and got to work. Hours later, the beast purred smoother than it had in years. When the biker returned, his eyes widened. He didn't expect a young black girl to be the one responsible for resurrecting his machine. But instead of anger, his expression shifted to surprise. And respect. He pulled out a thick wad of cash, trying to tip her more than the job was worth. Maya smiled, refusing the extra money. "Just doing my job," she said softly, but her boss had been watching. His face burned red. The idea of one of his customers praising Maya, especially a white biker, was too much for his pride. The next morning, Maya walked in to find her locker emptied and a pink slip waiting on the desk. Her crime? Overstepping her role. She had been fired. For fixing a bike too well. Word traveled fast. By evening, the Hell's Angel learned what happened. He stormed back into the garage, his boots pounding the pavement, his leather vest heavy with patches that carried weight far beyond the town. Everyone froze. The boss smirked, thinking he'd find an ally in the intimidating biker. After all, who would side with a 19-year-old black girl over a man like him? But the biker didn't say a word to the boss at first. He walked straight to Maya, looked her in the eye, and placed his hand firmly on her shoulder. Then he turned to the entire shop. "If she's not welcome here, neither am I. And neither is anyone who rides with me." The garage fell silent. The boss's smirk vanished. This wasn't just one customer he was losing. This was an entire network of riders, men who spent thousands keeping their bikes alive. The kind of customers who kept his business afloat. The biker's voice cut through the silence. "She's the best mechanic you'll ever have. Fire her and you've fired me and every last angel within 100 miles. Maya stood frozen, hardly believing what was happening. For years she had fought quietly, proving herself bolt by bolt, repair by repair. And now, the very man everyone feared was standing in her corner. The boss tried to backpedal. "It was just a misunderstanding," he stammered, but the biker wasn't having it. He tossed his keys on the counter and spat on the floor. "Find yourself another fool to pay your bills." Then he walked out, his engine roaring like thunder, a warning that echoed through the whole town. Within weeks, word spread, the garage was bleeding customers. Riders boycotted, cars stopped coming in, and the once bustling business was collapsing. Meanwhile, Maya's name traveled faster than rumor. People sought her out directly, begging her to take on their cars, their bikes, anything with an engine. By the end of the year, Maya had opened her own small shop, one built not on fear but on respect. She hung a single sign above the door: "Skill knows no color." Her journey wasn't easy. Racism didn't vanish overnight, but she had earned something her boss could never take away: dignity, reputation, and the undeniable truth that talent speaks louder than hate. And that Hell's Angel? He became her most loyal customer, riding miles just to remind her sometimes the loudest engines carry the strongest allies. So here's the question for us. In a world still full of prejudice, how many more Mayas are being silenced before they're even given the chance to prove themselves?